Yes, you have been found to have been legally insane at the time of your crimes. Therefore, I commit you to be confined to a state mental hospital until your sanity has been restored.
That's trash.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of That's Cool, That's Trash, the show where we watch a psychotronic movie and get together on Skype to break down the crazy. I'm Matt Howell.
I'm Kyle Schaefer.
I'm Joe Kincher.
And tonight we will not be joined by our friend Scott because he has a family issue going on, so he is unavailable to join us. Kyle, tell us about the movie this week.
We had the opportunity to watch the incredible two-headed Transplant. This was made in 1971 and stars Bruce Dern and Casey Kasem. And it's an interesting storyline, really. It's about a rich doctor named Roger Gerard, who is a scientist who's conducting experiments on head transplantation in his own home. He is assisted by Max. We're going to talk a lot about Max. His caretaker on this piece of property has a son, Danny, who, although fully grown, has the mind of a child.
Fully grown?
Yes.
He's a
fully
man.
Grown.
He's a man mountain.
He's an ox. Let's see. One day, an escaped psycho killer breaks out of prison and comes across the Gerard's home. When he breaks in, he attempts a little rape. He ends up killing Danny's father, and he kidnaps Linda, which is Roger's wife. Eventually, Max and Roger chase him down and shoot him. They bring him back to the lab, and they decide that they have this real ethical dilemma. The boy Danny, who is the handicapped child, is in a state of confusion because he has lost his father, and
therefore has lost all rights.
Yes.
Legally.
And at the same time, they have this psycho killer, and they need to take the next step in their experimentation by putting two human heads on the same body.
You might want to note here, Kyle, that they have the psycho killer who is dying on the table.
Yes, it's a matter of minutes. Like they got to get this thing going, and
it's now or never, man. Now or never.
They rationalize it and they put it together, and there we go. We're off and running. So imagine having this man child who is the size of an ox, and actually demonstrate his power by showing that he's as strong as a couple of horses.
Do they? I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? They're trying to pull a stump out of the ground.
Pushes over a stump. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, he's a big dude.
But he has the mind of an 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Which they show by him not being able to do simple arithmetic and spelling words wrong. I wish that would have happened.
The film opens with Danny just running in slow motion through the fields to really show just how childlike Danny is, and
chasing raccoons, as we all did.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was really interesting. They seem to talk around the fact that he's mentally retarded. So I was wondering, how are we going to address this? As we talk about Danny, is there this movie was made in 1971, and they would throw the word retard around all the time, right? So is it okay for us to use that word? I mean, it's sort of like Huck Finn, right?
Well, I think that in this case, he actually is retarded in the very literal sense of the word, because he was at the age of 8, I believe, in a mine cave-in and he was not rescued before his oxygen ran out. So his mental growth, his brain lost oxygen, and he was truly mentally retarded. There was a retardation of the growth of his brain because of the oxygen deprivation. So, in every sense of the word, he is mentally retarded.
Yeah, that would be medically accurate before that term became politically incorrect.
Yes, became taboo, verboten.
Ooh, I don't like that word.
Okay.
So, if you feel like you want to use the R word, Kyle, I think you should go nuts.
I think
Just
it's
let it
okay to
rip.
say retarded, but or retard, but not retard.
It's just
maybe.
Yeah, just not gentle giant, not man child.
He says imbecile in the movie at some point, but that guy's crazy though.
Half the people I
It's
work
like,
with are
imbecile.
imbeciles. You don't want to just lump those all into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm sorry, Kyle. You were doing a great recap there. That was the most succinct,
So that's pretty much it, right?
focused.
Into the movie then?
That's when it gets good.
Yeah, that's where we really
okay.
start. That's where we really start going here. So, I really loved. I want to talk about Max a little bit, and Max is the assistant to this. So, before we get going, did you guys have any interesting observations about Max?
Joe.
Yeah, no, he just looked eerily familiar. Like, I've seen this guy in a million things before, and he wouldn't stop wearing those white, like, glove liner things. They're gloves, but they're like, you buy them as like a box of liners, so you can put like rubber gloves over them and your hands won't sweat.
You buy
But he
them to
just-
check to see if the cleaning staff is doing a good enough job.
Right, or that. Yeah, exactly. That's, yeah. Viewers of popular culture will recognize them as dust testers.
So, Kyle, we saw these in our fuzzy college days, this movie.
Yes.
And I don't recall this from then, but it's also, all I recall is the middle-of-the-road folk song and Danny running through this stuff in slow motion, pretty much. That's what I took away from this film. But watching it again for this show, I did not catch it until the second time watching it for this show, that Max was the great mover, the prime mover of this whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
That
yeah,
his
yeah.
hands, I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention, probably having a cocktail or two I watched it, maybe checking my email a little bit, I don't know, but I didn't really figure, I mean, I knew there was a thing with his hands and he's a ruined surgeon, but I didn't realize that the impetus was all Max to replace his hands. If we can get a head somehow transplanted, then my hands can be replaced, and then I can be a brilliant surgeon again. So he's using Roger Gerard as a tool to complete these things, to where once we can get this nervous system, this neural transplant down, then we can possibly replace my hands, which are so delicate.
Okay, but here's what's stupid. Why not start with paws and feet and stuff? Like, let's start with heads. If we can get the head down, then the hand will be a piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
But that's maybe why I totally missed that. Also, the movie makes no point of that. And all I got from Max was like, okay, so he's like a ex-Nazi doctor.
That's what I totally thought,
That's
too.
what I got too.
I kept
Right?
waiting for them to say like something about
Like,
Berlin or
Oh, it's
something.
what we used to do in the whatever. I don't know why it sounded like Dracula, but you know what I mean. Like I totally thought that, and I thought, but he definitely was egging on. Like he was like, no, you have to do it. You know, he was because Bruce Dern's character, what's his name, Roger
Gerard.
That's almost a tongue twister.
Roger
was
Gerard.
like Roger Gerard. he was sort of like, I mean, it's Bruce Dern during. Well, I've got to say, like honestly, if you take his character, his acting out of the context of this film, it's just Bruce Dern acting. Like he doesn't ham it up like you see like a Nicolas Cage or a Gary Oldman or something do. Like he knows it's a bad movie. He knows it's a bad movie, but he's still just like, kind of going through the steps, and he's kind of the most believable thing in the movie.
He's
He's treating it with real pathos, but the script isn't there to support it, if that makes sense.
I do want to share something I read on IMDb.
Is this going to be the? Because I was going to save that the little quote of his about his talking about that film, how he remembers it.
I'm talking about are you talking about the production guy? There, in the IMDb discussion forums at the bottom of the listing for this film, a guy that was on the crew that did the makeup for most of the film went on to share his memories, and he said that Bruce Dern was very distant. Most of the staff, kind of bonded, or the crew kind of bonded and did their own thing, and but Bruce Dern was not present most of the time. He would go running for like 2 or 3 hours at a time before a call, and then he would just show up and pick blisters off his feet while they put his makeup on and go. Like, he did not want to be there, was the vibe that this crew member got. So
can I read you the one line I found about? It's actually in personal quotes on Bruce Dern's page on IMDb. This one movie, this happens to come up, and there's not a lot of personal quotes from him, but it says about Incredible Two-Headed Transplant, 1971. He said, "I look on it as a fond memory. It brought me together with my wife. The film was a nightmare to make, but I got married with the money I made from that movie. $1,750.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
there's that.
maybe just a kind of quick recap. Not to really run over Bruce Dern's entire filmography to this point or anything, but he was mostly known up to this point and playing kind of like Joe had mentioned earlier, like the same thing like Jack Nicholson or Peter Fonda, those kind of biker LSD kind of exploitation films of the late 60s. He was mostly known as playing kind of like an acid psycho or a biker psycho.
No, he was in Hang 'Em High too, as
that's
a bad
right.
guy.
He had a couple more kind of mainstream things, but those were, I think a lot of people knew him from exploitation cinema.
Yeah.
Or probably 50-50 split. But at any rate, he's kind of one of those characters that's a character actor with a capital C. He's an oddball. You check out most films from him. After Dark, My Sweet, the adaptation of a Jim Thompson novel. He's a great creep, heavy psycho kind of actor.
But he has an empathy to him, like a real
Humanity.
actory something. It's not just like super over the top character actor psycho. It's like,
yeah, it's not Dennis Hopper, Frank Booth stuff. It's
right.
He's got dimensions and stuff.
Yeah, it has layers, and if he's approaching a shitty guy, like a bad guy, he's approaching it with a way like where, well, what's this guy's motivation type of thing. That sounds way too actory than I wanted it to, but you know what I mean? Like, he's like it's like that thing, like every villain thinks they're doing the right thing.
Right. Every good
They
villain.
don't see themselves as a villain. Like Dr. Octopus is like, well, no, I got screwed, and I have my reasons, and I'm doing this, and I'm totally right here. I'm justified.
So even though this is a rather lackluster or subdued performance from Bruce Dern, I still put in my notes, Bruce Dern is a national treasure. I love me some Bruce Dern.
He should play in the third. How many National Treasure movies are there? Because he should play Nicolas Cage's father in the next National Treasure movie. Right?
That would be good.
That would be amazing. That would be like Keith Richards and Johnny Depp in the Pirates of the Caribbean. Just like, that would be perfect. I would go see that.
So let's shall we start just bouncing around some of our comments then? So, Kyle, do you want to cover the ending, or shall we just let the ending be itself, or what?
Maybe we'll why don't we talk about a little commentary, and then we can kind of give the ending a big big hoorah, big rockets.
Sure thing. So the film starts off really with the character Cass, who is a completely amoral, psychotic, homicidal rapist. I kind of figured he was probably based on some kind of Manson kind of stereotype, or the way people pictured Manson being. So the film starts off with some really sleazy stuff. This character has killed this family's parents and maybe a sibling, and he's getting ready to rape the daughter. And the police show up, and he jumps out a window, full bore, right? Mm-hmm. And the cops are there with guns drawn, so he drops his butcher knife and just starts laughing. And
You got me.
We got forward to him being sentenced by a judge to an insane asylum, which he doesn't like for some reason. That seems to irk him. Maybe he thought he could get out of a jail easier. I don't know. But as you're going to see, he has no problem getting out of anything. This guy gets out more than the Joker, I think.
He's a lot like the Joker. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, he's got the laugh, and that's about it, I guess. Right? No?
He's pretty rapey, though.
Yeah, but he doesn't really. I mean, like, it's like almost rape, and I thought because of when this movie came out, I was like, are they implying rape? But it's like, no, he smooches and never gets around to it, and he laughs and he's crazy and it's totally creepy. But I think there's like maybe one later thing that I don't want to spoil the thing, but I think there's one where it's like, okay, that was implied, like he totally raped that chick. But I think most of them, it's like he got interrupted or something happened, or he's like, oh, whoops, I killed you. And
Rapist
like,
interruptus, yes.
Yeah, I strangled the shit out of you. Whoops, gotta go. But yeah, but it's despite the lack of actual rape, this is very SVU shit. It's very rapey.
Well, as we're going to see with the biker group down the road, when Cass Danny is rampaging, he doesn't always rape women, which you're saying, Joe. I kind of thought that was implied, but then he just sometimes just kills.
Was like like there's this biker lady that looks like Nico Case, and he takes her in the water, and they're like, okay, now go to another scene. You don't know what happens, and it's like, okay, so he totally raped her. But then when they cut back, it's like, yeah, every bone in her body is broken, and like, well, that would take some time. So pretty much he was just hell bent on breaking every bone in her body. I think. I don't.
Well, because he had.
He's a different man.
He had Danny's strength now.
Okay. Can we go back to this is a very early fundamental point about this whole head surgery thing, is they don't establish because we do see there's a scene where we see when we first see like his examples of the two-headed transplant thing before the human experiment happens. So we see a two-headed monkey, and then a two-headed fox, and a two-headed rabbit, and then he's like, and this is a two-headed snake. This is the first one I ever tried. I don't know why you'd try on a snake first, but
because that actually occurred in nature, and it was just stock footage.
Right. Okay, there you go. So, but yeah, it's like a two-headed like Chinese calendar in there. Anyway, so but my point is, like, there's never any attempt to establish like what happens personality-wise. Like, the first thing, like, when I was watching it, I was like, what is the point of this experiment? Like, wouldn't you just do a brain transplant? Or if it's about an appendage transplant, wouldn't you start with, like, a pinky or a foot or I don't know. But there's no attempt made to – I guess what I'm saying is there's no attempt – like, we're supposed to believe once the head of the killer is put on Danny – body and head, and why does he have a bandage around his neck? Because his head stayed on his body, right? Or did it get severed and reattached?
Well,
right?
maybe it had to be severed and reattached for nervous system reassignment,
so that their heads could have no symmetry on that body. I get it, but they make, like, for some reason it's a priori established without any explanation that, like, the murderer guy is the stronger personality, so he gets to control the entire body. Mm-hmm. Like, Danny, even though it's his original fucking body, doesn't get a say in any sort of muscle control unless the murderer guy allows it.
Okay, let's back up just a step or two here.
Okay.
So once we have established that Cass is going to the big house, for the big nut house, we then jump forward to Kyle's scene that he mentioned, which is the beloved song. This seemingly, considering the title of this film and the nature of what you just saw, totally inappropriate song number, and this man-child running through the hills of California, chasing raccoons and just being childlike. Do you want to play just a quick snippet of that song, just so we can kind of hear a little bit of the magic, the Bacharach David
mood
magic?
It's incredible how many things we feel, we know, seem to quickly fade, remembering just the afterglow. With each passing year we've seen just how it all could have been. When looking back, some cold and lonely door.
Okay, so we get that.
I wrote down that that's like it's like when with the James Bond movies, they'll have some crazy title, and they'll go just go to a singer and go, "This is the title of the next James Bond film." Like, right as a
fit that in a
right
song.
right as a pretty song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's called Skyfall. I don't know. Skyfall, View to a Kill. I don't know what the hell that song was about. Great song, but, work that into a song. So they're like, okay, incredible. All right, let's do it.
I just love that the tone is so completely inappropriate, especially considering the incidental or whatever the music is that you hear the rest of this film, which is very psychedelic, jarring, angular, jagged. So, at any rate, we get that. We get to see Danny being peaceful and happy and just being a big kid. And then this big, nice car pulls up in front of Dr. Gerard's house, and it is his old college buddy, his best friend in the world, Ken. And Ken has been called out there by Roger's wife, Linda. And Ken is played by legendary man voice Casey Kasem.
Man voice, yeah.
Legendary man comma voice. So if you don't know Casey Kasem, you might be deaf.
Too young to listen to this.
But he was a very famous nationally what's that term when the DJ
broadcaster, DJ.
Yeah, but when it's all over the nation.
Syndicated.
Thank you. Syndicated top 40 countdown DJ.
I was going to say super DJ.
And he was. But he was also the voice from the creation of Scooby-Doo. He was the voice of Shaggy from the first episode all the way up until the live-action movie in 2001 or whatever that was. So he has been Shaggy to generations of people. He's also been the voice of the boy wonder Robin since 1968, probably through 1984. If you've seen Super Friends,
at least,
any of the incarnations of the Batman animated series, he's always been Robin. Let's play a little snippet of just what he sounds like as Robin.
Gosh, Batman, with all my goofs, I've even become a menace to you.
Perhaps, Boy Wonder, you're overworked. Maybe you need a little vacation from crime fighting.
And you might recognize him a little more as the radio voice, like we were talking about. Here's an outtake of Casey talking on the radio, doing one of his dedications.
Boy, this is fucking ponderous, man. Fucking ponderous. Hi, this is Casey Kasem. American Top 40 has moved to a new time. I hope you'll join me this Saturday morning and every Saturday morning at 2. Now, we're up to our long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio. And here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's start again. I'm coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions, and then you got to go into somebody dying. They do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. Since last goddamn time, I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is that's up tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying.
That's Casey Kasem. He's awesome.
What do you think that song was? The up tempo song.
More.
Green Onions.
I don't think so.
Dancing in the Streets.
I think it's more disco-y.
At the car wash, maybe. And then he's like, "Hey, here's a sincere letter." Yeah.
So Ken, Casey Kasem shows up. Linda's called him there, and we get treated to a little exposition theater which I love, which is the poor man's way of explaining what's going on without actually showing.
They haven't come out of that laboratory for the last 3 days. They won't even answer when I knock. Oh, Ken, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Linda, you've been married, I think, about 6 months now, and you sound just like a woman who's been married for 10 years. You know that?
Oh, it's those experiments of his. They just mean more to him than I do.
Hey, come on now. You know that isn't true. Now, Roger had one heck of a jolt after that breakdown.
Yes, I know. It was cruel the way the hospital wouldn't let him return to this town.
Sure.
But Ken, he's driving himself right into another breakdown. I don't want to be around when it happens.
So there we have some conflict. Right?
Yeah, I'd like to know the history
yeah,
between those two also. They've got some history.
I
Linda and
thought
Ken.
they might have porked once or twice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's conflict.
Yeah. So, Dr. Rogers not letting anybody into his secret lab. But guess what? When Ken knocks on the door, he gets in. He gets a tour.
This is really quite a setup.
Thanks.
Hey, Raj, you know you got Linda all shook up. That's why she called me out here. You want to know why I'm here? Hey, what is it? Why don't you go out and talk to her? Let her know you're alive.
I can't.
Why not?
Come here.
I love it when he slips back into radio Kasem.
So do I. From that point, once he steps into the lab, he's got comfortable on the set, and I feel like he's going to go at any point like, and shooting the number one with a bullet is Stuck on You by Lionel Richie.
You know, you've got Linda all shook up. Speaking of all shook up, I've got a listener dedication. Dear Casey, I love Elvis Presley. Always have, always will.
Oh. So he shows Ken these monstrous freaks he's created with a needle and thread in his lab in solitude with Max, his lab partner. Lab partner, that sounds a little high schoolish. His co-laborator.
Imagine having him as a lab partner.
So, as Joe mentioned, we see these animals with the extra heads sewed on, and
It's amazing. What's your next step?
Is to take the live head of an animal and replace it completely with the other live animal's head.
And after that?
Then humans. When I am successful with this operation, then I'll be able to do it.
Well, Roger, what happens to the person whose head you removed? You can't keep the body alive, can you?
But supposing somebody has irreparable brain damage, it can't ever be cured. It's absolutely incurable. Can never lead a normal life again.
Roger, the human being.
You don't think that he'd be better off?
All right, say you perfect the operation. Then who's going to judge who should live and who should die?
Future generation.
Well, then we could have a society that takes a man's life on the pretext of humanity.
Roger, the white blood count is the same as yesterday.
Thank you. Oh, excuse me, Kenny. This is Dr. Cooper.
Dr. Miller.
okay, so we have the
He's-
groundwork.
Yeah, he's bringing it heavy there. Like the humanity and the whatever he just said. I don't know. I fell asleep, but it sounds heavy, right?
What do you think, Kyle?
You know, I think it's quite a predicament. You know, you definitely want to be able to put whatever head on top of whatever body you want.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's kind of our right as creators of our own world to be able to, you know, chop things up and put them back together again. And I kind of agree with Roger on this one. You know, it really is just up to future generations. I'm sure they're going to work it all out. What we're doing right now is just laying the basic foundation for that.
Groundwork.
But then there's some people who are like, you know, hey, government, keep your head off my body.
Hey, ho, ho, that second head, it's got to go. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah, like a body is a marriage between one head and one body.
Yeah. Okay, so they're left with that. And then there's an awkward jump cut where I'm pretty sure that they showed a fondue party or something, but we don't get to see that. But we get to see Ken leaving and just laughing and laughing. And meanwhile, Danny is outside doing a little, 8-year-old play acting with an axe, swinging his axe around. And they step outside and do a day for night shot. And I mentioned this to you guys before, but day for night shots to me, day for night is, for you folks that aren't cinema geeks or whatever, day for night is when they adjust the iris and they shoot in the daytime, but the scene is set at night, so they're tamping down the light, the amount of light that's let into the iris, to make it look a little darker than it is. When it's artfully done, it can be a thing of beauty. It can be very effective. When it's poorly done, it's very stupid looking, to where you can see the sun reflecting off of reflective objects in the scene, where it's. There's scenes where it's very clearly noon, and they're just irising down, and
when it's in between, it looks like it's 5 a.m, right?
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. So they step outside, and it's clearly a day for night shot. And I thought to myself when I saw this, I'm a huge fan of terrible films. I love watching them. But day for night shots, at this point, they're kind of like tramp stamps, the tattoos. When you see one, you know you're dealing with cheap trash. And that's good to know.
Hey, ho, ho. These day for night shots have got to go.
Right. So, yeah. Somebody else take it.
Well, this is the first time we see Danny when he's not frolicking. And so for me, at least according to my notes, was the first time that I noticed that he had, like, huge padded shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, like, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, that's to make him look bigger or whatever. It's like, no, it's to make the effect when they have the two guys together in the thing, the two-headed thing.
Yeah.
It's like they made that effect first and went, oh.
If we front load it, no one will notice.
Yeah. We got to give him big shoulders at the beginning, or else, like, it'll be too dramatic of a change, and it won't just look like a head stuck on this guy's body.
So I guess we can really jump ahead here to the breakout.
Yes, please.
So we forgot about Cass, the insane Joker character of this film. He's been in a mental asylum, as you recall, from the opening scene. Apparently he's in a low security level mental asylum. This is not Arkham. He throttles one nurse or one orderly or one doctor, and he's out. And he finds a Comet, whatever that car is, with the keys in it, and he's gone.
Mm-hmm. He also finds like a quart of milk.
Yeah.
Which he just drinks the hell out of, like just running down the sides of his mouth. That's my preferred getaway drink. Milk.
Yeah, me too.
Like when I feel like I'm really I deserve milk.
Yeah. When you need a protein drink that won't slow you down.
Yeah.
Milk.
What I like about him is that he's free. Like it's hunting season. Like he's back on it. Like he's not going to take time to worry about hiding. He's like, I've got one chance to do that thing that I do, and I'm going to go all the way.
Exactly. He's like the Joker. The Joker is not going to worry about covering his tracks. The Joker is not going to worry about, hideaways. The Joker is going to start killing people and setting up bizarre schemes immediately. So this guy's kind of like that. Like he has there's not the normal impulse to hide and set up and be safe. He is killing. That's what he does. And raping.
Game on for him.
Little raping.
So there's a message over the radio that we get to hear. We don't have to play that if you don't want to, but just letting the public know that this guy's out now. Should we skip over that?
Sure.
Yeah, we should probably propel it a little forward. We're barely halfway through.
Yeah. So meanwhile, Linda is sitting outside by the pool. She hears the message on the radio. I feel like I have to interject here, just a little personal note. As a impoverished husband and father, I had a hard time feeling bad for Linda because her day seemed to be consumed with sitting by the pool and listening to the radio. So knowing that she called Ken and said, I'm so upset, my husband, this and that, blah, blah, but her day is consists of this, I kind of felt kind of a fuck you whiner kind of thing at this point.
But what's funny is, like, for the most of the rest of the movie, she spends either bound up confined or drugged and asleep or like sat on or chased or something. But like it's still, you're right. It's still hard to feel. She's just kind of there as like a plot point. Like it's hard to feel like, oh no, like I never felt like, oh no, this lady's in trouble. It's just like, oh yeah, she's in a cage now. Like,
yeah, you could teach a whole gender class on the way this woman is treated in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Seriously.
she's like a fucking non-entity.
She's wearing a nightie or a swimsuit the entire film, virtually, except for the first scene.
Right.
She's bound and gagged like an animal, or she's caged like an animal. Yeah, I mean, you're right. Or drugged. I mean,
or drugged and in
she's
bed
in the
and then like,
bathtub.
dear.
Yeah, in the bathtub, right.
Yeah, the bubble bath. Yeah, it's just
she
like,
is completely objectified.
she's just the complete like lazy male point of view writing. Like, well, there has to be a girl in there to move the plot forward. Like, because if you have a psycho rapist killer, you need ladies. But it doesn't. Yeah, she has completely no. I don't even know that she really has, aside from the clip that we just heard, really has any lines that aren't.
She barely has lines.
Well, that are lines. Yeah.
So her previous, what she's most known for, I guess, is playing Marilyn Munster in the Munsters. So she is the sister of
holy shit,
the main Munster woman, the wife. I don't know what her name is, but. She was a recurring character on the Munsters.
She was like the non-Munster Munster.
And the joke was that she was a plain Jane because she wasn't freakish looking or ugly.
Shit. That's what I get for not IMDb'ing that. That totally surprised me. I was like, don't know it from anywhere. Not going to look it up.
So, Cass breaks into the house. Cass, my order of things is slipping here. Does Cass kill Danny's dad first?
He takes.
Yes.
I don't know, but yeah. He
interrupted by Danny's dad, or
he kills Danny's dad. Then he
first
ties up. Go ahead.
He's attempting rape. He's attempting to get Linda.
Right.
Right, and then Linda's screaming. So then Danny's dad comes in.
Right.
Then he takes out Danny's dad, and then Roger comes in, kind of around that same time. And wait a minute, maybe both of those guys come in at the same time from the yelling.
Well, but he ends up tying up Roger.
Yes.
And kidnapping and running away with Linda, kidnapping her.
That's right. He's killed Danny's dad, hogtied Roger, and left with Linda. Then,
that's all that's important.
Yes. Really. And then Danny comes in, and he's trying to convince Danny to untie him, but Danny is mourning over his father's corpse. So it takes him a while to get untied. Once he does, he and Max get the guns and go after them.
That's right.
And in one of the rare scenes in B horror movies, she is being attacked by this psycho killer out in the woods. She escapes. I think she kicks him in the balls or something, escapes. She does the cliche, trips and falls down, her shoe falls off, whatever, that whole thing, like, oh, Jesus Christ, this damn trope. And then she actually kind of gets out in the street after her husband goes by, and he sees her in the rearview mirror. That never happens. He sees her, and he flips a Yui and goes back.
But then, just to make sure that it's not too good, when he flips around, it's screeching tires on that dirt road.
On dirt road, right. Gaffer's delight, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, well, we already have this sound, so can we just use that? Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So they cut Cass down with a shotgun. Done deal.
And that's Max. Max is the trigger man right there.
Right.
So again, he just keeps pushing this whole thing forward. Like this is Max's show. Roger's just there to get the backup.
And as I mentioned to you guys, if this were remade today, which it will be because everything has to be remade within 35 years, when this gets remade...
Or else it's public domain.
Yeah, if this gets remade, I strongly believe Max will be M. Night Shyamalan, whatever however you say it. Max will be a factor of Roger's mind. He will be openly a Nazi war criminal, and he will not be real. And that will be the big reveal at the end, is that
how about this?
It was all Bruce Dern's mind, but whoever our Bruce Dern is today.
How about this, Matt? But he was experimented on, and he had a second head on him. But now it's a ghost head, and so it's a ghost brain, and Max is the ghost brain. That head was removed.
That's not believable.
Oh, you're right. That's just silly.
I wrote down 5 reasons why I think Max is a Nazi, and I wanted to run these by you guys and just see if you were in agreement with me. So number 1, he owns white murder gloves, right? Like that's got to be a Nazi sign, right? Number 2, he's an excellent shot. He can single shoot anyone from any location, any vantage point, kill them. Number 2, he can dispose of a body discreetly or in a flaming wreck of fire over the side of a cliff.
Well, that car didn't explode, but yeah, I didn't know what was going on there. But he had it all figured out. Like, oh, I've been here before.
Yeah, you just something happens to a head, and a headless body shows up in a ravine. It happens all the time in Nazi Germany. Number 4, bondage. The guy could hogtie male and female expertly.
Out of rags.
Yeah, whatever's on hand. And I think that the 5th one for me was that he only seems to show compassion for the beast that he created. So I'd run that by you, see what you guys thought. If we're in agreement there. Is there anything else that I'm missing that could be a high-ranking Nazi official?
He's the right age.
Yeah. I mean, the gloves are kind of explained when he first...
I didn't get the hand thing until you said it.
Casey Kasem, when he meets Max, shakes his hand and he kind of shies away from him. And it's understood later that his hands have been ruined. And that's his motivation for these experiments to work, is that if they can get this neurological thing down, then he can have his hands replaced by someone, an innocent person, a living person, and become a great surgeon again. But other than that, he's pretty good at trying to hide bodies, or trying to hide trails.
Why do you suppose his hands were mangled? How did that happen? Probably something in Nazi Germany, right?
Fighting commandos.
Could be. He had a terrible accent. At least in the beginning, he was trying to have an accent. At some point, it faded rather quickly.
Yeah. Grabbed a grenade, maybe, or I don't know.
Maybe just somebody took a hammer to it.
Yeah, interrogation. I don't know.
There's all kinds of reasons.
But at any rate, we have a perfect opportunity here now, because Danny was so upset when he found his killed father that he is out of control, and he gets chloroformed because Dr. Rogers says we have to get Danny away from his father's corpse. So they chloroform him and get him away. So he's on a table, sleeping. And Cass is bleeding out and dying. And we have a clip there to explain, we have an opportunity here, Dr. Gerard. We have an opportunity to do some amazing science.
He'll be going any minute now. There's nothing more we can do.
Sometimes we're so helpless.
You're wrong, Roger. Don't you realize we have here 2 perfect subjects? One, a retarded man who's of no use to himself or to anyone else. You're a homicidal maniac who'll be dead in a few minutes anyway.
Oh, you're not going to do that to Danny.
Roger, such an opportunity may never come again.
Nazi.
So, we get a nice little scene there where Bruce Dern is kind of stroking his beautiful, huge caterpillar mustache and thinking for about 59 seconds, and then says, let's do it.
We have a unique opportunity here. 6 million Jews, a new gas, death gas we want to try out, these big ovens.
So while Roger is thinking about it, there's a beautiful little cameo in the upper right-hand corner where Danny's dad appears in this little oval.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And says, if anything ever happens to Danny, you'll take care of him. Or whatever, please take care of him for me. I love that.
I had forgotten all about that.
That made me laugh.
I must have blinked. Or I was checking to see how much more of this movie I had to watch.
Yeah. And unfortunately, at this point, you're only about 45 minutes into it.
Barely, yeah.
But
and it looks exactly like those 70s photos where one
Yes.
shot is the faraway serious face, and
Yes.
then in the upper right-hand corner you have the close-in smile.
Yeah. So they do the operation, and it's a success. And in the meantime, Linda, his wife, has been so upset by the events that happened that they gave her a sedative and she fell asleep. She is woken up from that sedative and finds the key that Roger has hidden to the lab, and she lets herself in there because after the operation, they figure they'll be asleep for 2 or 3 days. And she was in the lab, and he's up, right? The Danny Cass beast is up.
Oh, yeah.
And he, Danny has this innocent, pure love for Linda. He tried to give her flowers earlier. He wants to work with her. So we have that, but also Cass is apparently the killer is running the show. So he's slobbering and way overacting. And
I love it, though.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
So they're lurching towards her. She might faint. I don't know what she does. But Roger and Max find him and throw something in his face that makes him blinded temporarily, and he stumbles out of the lab, and now he's out free.
I'm led to believe it's like acid of some kind.
There's no face burning.
No, I know, but that's what's
discomfort.
weird.
It's like citric acid.
Yeah. It was lysergic acid.
It's like aromatherapy base or something. I don't know what it is. But he leaves, and then Roger chastises her and says, honey, what are you doing? Should we just play that?
No, it's all over. It's all over. Don't worry about it. Hey, I told you. Didn't I tell you not to come down here to the lab and concern yourself down here? Didn't I? Huh? Now, come on. Get up and go on back to bed.
You've got to go phone the sheriff.
No, I don't need to call
Yes,
the sheriff.
please.
Nothing's wrong.
If you won't call them, then I will.
Get the guns. Hey!
And just for the listener, I have no idea what the fuck just happened there either. And I saw the movie. That clip is a disaster. It's just like... It's like you're on a party line or something.
So
because the music's all bumped up, right?
Yeah, and I'll try and fix that in post, but...
No, I mean, that's how it was.
Yeah, it is, but he talks to her like you talk to like your child when you like find them on the floor crying about the clowns or something like that. Like, oh, honey, no, there's no clowns. No, get back in... I told you, just get back in bed. It's fine now. But, the stark contrast is... Danny has 2 fucking heads now, and he just tried to rape you with the murderer head.
Go back to bed, sweetheart.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
So at this point, she's saying, get the sheriff, and he's saying, we don't need the sheriff, and she needs to be tied up. So she's hogtied and put back in bed. By the way, we've known from, we learned from Ken that they've been married less than a year. So I can tell you, if your spouse is already sedating you and tying you up, there's a couple red flags. He's probably not that into you. Yeah.
Get out.
Definitely.
How long did you guys wait before you started sedating and tying up?
Oh, you gotta wait till the 5-year anniversary at least.
Yeah, that's the 5th year, isn't it?
Okay, I think I was a little early on that, but I hope I'm within the window.
We can ask Leland Palmer, but I think it's the 5th year is when it starts.
Yeah, and you gotta have a few dinners in there, and
It seems like in the 70s, if you had a marriage license, you could take it into any pharmacy and they would give you sedatives.
Yeah.
Like, as the man, you just get sedatives.
I think it was
they're
mostly...
like, oh, she has the vapors again, right?
Yeah, I think it was the 50s through the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, vapors. Yeah, hysteric. I get it.
We glossed over a nice little clip there when Danny wakes up to find Cass sewn onto his body.
Eddie? What do you know? You can talk.
Who are you?
I'm your brother.
I don't have a brother.
You do now. I don't like it any better.
But until we can do something about it, I'm running this monster, understand? My neck hurts.
Our neck hurts, stupid. Don't you see what these maniacs have done to us? You and I are now one, dummy. Let's stand up. I'll show you.
This was a perfect opportunity for them to make the story about the two of them ganging up on the people that did this to them. Instead of turning into a homicidal maniac, go like, hey, why'd you do this to me? And they could join forces. I know it wouldn't be Jekyll and Hyde then, but at least it'd be interesting.
That's an interesting point.
But a homicidal maniac's not going to be worried about revenge as much as, watching the world burn.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, like he says right there, don't you see what they did to us? We got to get these guys or whatever.
But let's be clear. This is the best thing that's ever happened to Cass.
Yeah.
Like
now he has strength.
Yeah, he finally has superhuman strength.
Yeah, that's true. And he's like, oh, look at these arms. Think what I can do. Think of all the raping I can do with these arms. I can choke the shit out of people.
So they run off, and they run to the mine. This is the mine where Danny was caved in and, stunted because of oxygen deprivation. So that's their hideout. And
can we back up briefly to talk about the bikers? Right after this?
I couldn't tell which one came first. I thought maybe they wake up. You might be right, actually, Kyle.
Yeah, I think he just went right on a rampage. Like the next, as soon as they get out, it was like, let's go kill some bikers.
Okay.
No, you're right, because then it's nightfall, and then they go, and he goes, this is a good hideout.
Okay.
And that's when the cops happen.
So yeah, the biker cookout.
Yeah.
So that was perfect. The monster stumbles across this biker cookout, and I believe that there are two guys and a lady.
Yes.
And as soon as Cass sees the lady, it's on. He starts fighting through the bikers. So one biker, I believe a biker takes off.
Yeah.
So they're hanging out, and they stand up and they say, I'm so baked. And they're laughing and laughing, and she's cooking dinner. And then one says, I got to go I'm going to go drop some acid or something like that. I have to go get my head clear. And he hops on his bike and starts to ride off.
I thought the implication was that, like, because she was like, I'm your lady, and if you don't get some food, then fuck you, whatever. And he's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just go ride around for a while, and you guys can whatever, because, like, they were together, and he was the third wheel. So he's like, I'm going to ride around, I'll come back.
I don't want to listen to this static.
Yeah, he was just like, ugh. You guys, yeah, and then he's just like, I'm just gonna go bike around and be badass, and I'll come back when you guys have sorted out your wah shit.
Does he come back? I don't remember him.
He
coming
does.
back.
Oh yeah.
In mid battle,
part of the rampage.
Oh, he has the chain, right?
Yeah.
Did he pull out a chain? Oh, that's
pulls
right.
out a chain, whips it around. Yeah.
So this knife fight goes on forever, and to me, the one of the bikers looked like Mark Harmon. So it was cracking me up to see him holding a knife and stabbing in the air at the monster.
So we got Mark Harmon, Nico Case, and the guy with the chain.
Right.
Yeah, and Beardo.
And Beardo.
Call him Beardo. Yeah.
And the Danny Cass beast takes care of all three of them with relative ease.
Yeah. Yeah, he's serious now. He's a serious force.
So then they stumble off and they find the mine. And as you're saying, Cass said, this is a great hideout. In the morning, you get a bit of funny business. I don't think it's supposed to be funny. But they wake up and the actor who played Danny has to do the thing where he scratches Cass's head. Mm-hmm. And he rubs his eyes and like covers his mouth while he yawns, to show that Cass has control of the body.
Right.
Which is hilarious. At this point, I thought to myself, how did these two guys not get a spinoff? How was this not a series?
Yeah, that's a good show.
Right? Wouldn't that be a good sitcom? 1971, 72?
If you love Mork and Mindy, you'd love this. Oh, it just occurred to me, I'm sorry, that you guys were sort of both right. And I forgot it too because I stopped taking notes at the halfway mark. But what happens is the Lover's Lane thing. And that's where they go to there's like a Lover's Lane where there are all these cars parked and people making out. And they go there and terrorize that. And
that's right.
And he chokes out a couple.
Right. And I thought to myself,
Zodiac would love this movie.
I want to have connective tissue between all the films. And my thought was, if they had a van, this wouldn't even have happened. Because he reaches down through a rag top, right?
Yeah.
And he tears open a rag top and
Yeah.
starts choking people. It's like, if you had a super van,
Yeah, you just bolt that shit. Yeah.
it wouldn't even be an issue.
And so that was the thing, and then they run to the mine, and then they come back and terrorize. They come across, like, the cops are on their trail. They lose them through like a river or something, and that's when they come across. I don't know. It's getting all muddled because it's about 4 sentences of a movie at this point.
Yeah.
It's like they go around, terrorize some shit, terrorize some other shit. Cops are on their shit. Everyone's like, oh fuck. Yeah. Oh, they went this way. They went this way. Right, that's pretty much it, and then the end scene.
So there is one clip I want to set up here. So Casey Kasem, Dr. Ken, has promised to come back and hang out with them. When he comes back, everything's bad. He finds that he's gassing up, and he hears about there's a 2-headed monster that's been terrorizing people on Lover's Lane, and he connects the tissue here. He's like, "What? Wait a minute. Where's the sheriff's station?" Because he's figured it out. He's a pretty sharp tech.
Wasn't I the DJ that announced that when it first happened?
So he goes with them to investigate this thing, and a deputy walks up to him and the sheriff and says something. And I don't know what it is about this deputy, but I love him.
Hey, Sheriff. Some men are beginning to assemble on the other side of the road there. And Bill Taylor's on his way with the dogs.
We're going to run ourselves down to murder, Doc. Care to join us?
No, I gotta run some things down myself. Go ahead.
I love that guy. I call him Deputy Dipshit.
He sounds like one of Top Cat's gang.
Totally. So it's Hanna-Barbera. I bet that's Casey Kasem's friend.
I bet Hanna-Barbera secretly bankrolled this movie. They're like, we'll give you $5,000 to make a shitty movie.
So somehow the old mine comes up. I can't remember why, but someone says you should check the old mine. And in my mind, I can't hear old mine without thinking of Lassie. Like, oh, we should check the old mine. That's definitely a Lassie thing.
No, the tracks lead back there, I think, is what happens.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, simultaneously, Deputy Dipshit and his team go to Dr. Gerard's place, and they break into the lab, and they find all the setup for this stuff. That this kind of explains everything. So in the meantime, we have the climax, guys. There's the cave. So Dr. Gerard, sorry, be formal. Max, Danny Cass, who else is there?
Casey Kasem,
and Linda. Everybody.
Yeah. Why was Linda there?
Just along for the ride. Always up for anything. I don't know. I don't remember.
And
she probably got. She was caged again or something. She was kidnapped the whole time.
Oh, maybe the cops let her go.
She got dragged along. I don't know. I don't remember.
So
well, the sheriff seems to invite everybody in town to come along with him anytime he's going somewhere.
Yeah, just follow me in your car.
Hey, why don't you want to see a dead body?
Which is rural procedure, I think.
We could use all the help we could get. It's a mystery.
So this cave for this final scene is amazing. It's all papier-mâché. Do you guys recall this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's insanely bad interior. The exterior shots of the cave are a real cave. The interior shots are papier-mâché. And I was watching this and thinking, wow, this kind of makes our elementary school production of The Man of La Mancha look pretty damn good. Like, it's cartoonishly bad.
Yeah.
The effect that caught my attention the most, and granted, I was watching, like, I had to watch the last half of this on my phone. So already on YouTube, but on my phone. But I could still tell that there was the falling dirt effect.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That was like it was a double exposure or a filter thing, so that there was just like they had an effect that was like, oh, we'll just do this and repeat this, and it's falling dirt, and that'll just be like a clean plate over every shot, over the stuff, over. So then they do all the shots in the cave, and then in post they put this thing over it. That's this like clean pass of just like, in front of it, like just sifting dirt, but it was always the same and just looked like not good.
Like a Yule log.
Yeah. It had that repetitive, like, if you're not paying attention, it looks like a real fire. If you're not paying attention, and at this point, quite frankly, you're probably not paying attention to this movie. You're probably like, oh yeah, that's real. Yeah. Falling dirt.
I imagine you're at the drive-in and you're
macking.
You're nearing third base, so you really don't care.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, shit's going down. I better wrap this up.
However, we've not really paid much attention to the soundtrack, but as I mentioned earlier, it's very psychedelic in a like 4 Years Too Late way. Very jagged. Cal, can you play a little bit of that music just so people can get a sense of how this film mounts up?
This is the way to the old mine.
Sounded pretty good.
Yeah. Nice work,
Sounded
guys.
pretty good. Yeah.
So, the big showdown. Kyle, take us home.
For some reason, I don't remember why the mine collapses, so I might need a little help with this part.
I think it's just not stable.
Okay, because I seem to remember like the gun going off a few times, and them trying to play it off like the gun hit a beam, or I couldn't tell if there was a struggle and they hit the beam. Anyway,
you're thinking about it more than they were.
It's interesting that we're back at the mine because really
nature destroys us all.
Yeah, for Danny, this is where it all started.
Yeah.
And I believe that the reason why we're back at the mine is because this is just a place that Danny seems to visit. I mean, he visited at the beginning of the film, and I think he's got a lot of unfinished business and just a lot of personal struggle with his life because of the mine.
Do you think he's resolved it?
I don't know.
Come back
I
as
don't
like
know.
A mine,
That's a really good question.
Or will he come back as a mine ghost? I guess is what I'm asking.
I think now. I mean,
and then Casey Kasem is Shaggy, and he comes back in the Mystery Machine, and they're like, "Oh, yoinks!"
I'm sorry, we missed part of the setup, Kyle. Early in the film, when they're explaining that Danny was in this cave-in and why he is this giant man-child, there's these cutaways of, Bruce Dern's character explains he has an unnatural fascination with this mine where this thing happened, and he's visiting it in cutaways, and he has a classic 50s looking toy robot. And when he goes in there and he kind of hears echoes and gets scared, and he drops the toy robot as he runs away. So that's all important for this last scene here.
Good point. Good point. Because this is where Danny starts to take control. Like he's bringing the monster and Cass back to this place, and it's at this point, they're in there, and then the sheriff and Roger and Ken and the whole crew come in for this big confrontation, and I don't remember exactly how. I don't remember what happens here. It's to me like it seems like all of a sudden they were just in this tangle, and I was expecting like a lot more of an explanation and some sort of a wrap up, but I never felt like I got that.
So,
can I posit a theory?
Yeah.
Okay, just briefly, because I forgot about the toy robot thing. I think what we're supposed to see is happening is that his you know how Danny's not in control of this guy the whole time? Mm-hmm. I think he's subconsciously in control, so he led him to the mine repeatedly because that's his power place or whatever, and so that's his place where he can control. So that's why the first time we see them in the mine, it's you see Danny's up but Cass is asleep, and I'm like, why didn't you just punch him in the face? But so then he leads him back again, oh, they'll know to find me here. And once he's surrounded by people he loves and he's there, it's kind of his will, his subconscious will that sort of shakes that place apart. And he's I'm sacrificing myself these people are going to get out, and I'll bury this fucking evil. Because he's crying the whole
That's-
time. Like, he's like, he knows this shit's evil.
Wow.
He's like, I'm sacrificing myself to, like,
That's a hell of a read.
bury this evil.
So we're dropping some of the stuff.
Sorry. Let me back up for just a second. So if I have this correctly, like the real conflict here at the end is not between the monster and the men. It's really between Max and Roger.
Yes, I was going to say that,
Right.
Kyle. I want to mention that Roger says we need to kill this. This needs to be shot, right? And Max is saying, no, we need to throw a net on it and bring it back. This is valuable.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, and it seems like that was where the real conflict was between those two guys. And like, like Joe was saying, I was feeling kind of the same way. Like he's just bringing them back to that mine because he knows that this thing's going to happen.
And even Roger is sort of like Ken's like, dude, it's gone too far. Like, come on. And he's like, and Roger didn't know. Like, no, this like 5 people are dead. And he's like, oh fuck, are you serious?
That's right. He didn't know.
There was that epiphany where he's like, okay, you're right. This has gone too far. This is stupid. We gotta like get him. But Max is the holdout, and he's like, no, throw a net on him. Like they're this miracle of science. And even Roger at that point isn't crazy enough once it comes down to the mine, I think, to be like, no, then people will see what I've done. I mean, he was up until that point, but at this point he's just like, no, this is fucked. We're all gonna die. Like this has to end. That's what it seemed like.
So did it change his mind when Ken made that speech? Because at the very beginning, Roger was into it. Like he was going to capture the beast.
I don't know.
I think knowing the body count changed Roger's mind.
Yeah, because he still had something bordering on ethics. It's just that, like, you know what I mean? Like his sort of egomaniacal thing was getting in the way. But when like suddenly innocent people that had nothing to do with promoting his own thing, that were just happened to get in the way of this beast, got killed, he was like, okay, wait,
Yeah.
reasons. Even though his own wife had been terrorized constantly by this thing, and that didn't change his mind one bit. I don't know about that, but
Right, but he's not a supervillain. He's not saying like
Right.
20, 30 lives, what's the cost of this? He's saying it's a pretty low body count for me. Like once it gets here, I'm out.
it's like, I'm out. I'm just, you know what? Yeah.
But Max, the devil on his shoulder,
that
is
guy's
in.
a super villain.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I forget what happens, but he throws a net on him, and then something triggers this cave-in. We're all forgetting what it is. But it's pretty clear that Roger and Max Roger is sacrificing himself. And he tells Ken to get Linda out of there. And the place caves in, and they're done for. And there's an awkward situation. There's a moment when the sheriff's approaching, and Ken and Linda are talking, and they say, should we tell them what happened, or should we preserve Roger's memory and just tell a lie?
Oh, that's right.
And
not worried about preserving Danny's memory, because nobody gives a shit. They're like, no, he was the killer.
Yeah, he was
kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So they lie and say the murderer was Danny. He was in there. So was Cass and Dr. Gerard and Max, for that matter.
You might find an extra head without a body.
Yeah, don't dwell.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't get hung up on details, I guess.
Yeah. Don't send in the forensic team.
And there we go. That is the incredible two-headed transplant.
And then we get to hear that song again, which
Yeah.
may have been the thing that actually brought that cave down.
It's incredible. So let's do a quick, is this cool or is this trash?
All right.
Let's
Trash.
go to Joe first.
Trash.
Why? Supports your
Straight
theory.
up. Okay. Like I said, Bruce Dern, his acting is still, even though he's phoning it in, still is good. If you see him in other things around this period, before this, he did Hang 'em High. Right after this, he did Silent Running, and he was in King of Marvin Gardens. Go watch those. Like, this isn't where you want to see Bruce Dern acting, because he's acting in a script that just doesn't give a shit. Other good things about this film, the music is crazy. that's true of a lot of the films we've done so far. I think the best music is probably the thing it's the cold open scene, and it's like this funky guitar and stuff. But you know what? Watch Death Wish and see a soundtrack by Herbie Hancock, or watch any of the Dirty Harry films and get a Lalo Schifrin soundtrack. So like everything I kind of want to like about this film, you can get better somewhere else. And this one sets a new record for me for how many times I checked my timestamp. Like I started watching, and then I was like, okay, I'm going out for a cigarette, or gonna, get a snack or whatever, and I'm like, oh my god, I've only watched 24 minutes of this.
It's like me with the Transformers movies.
Oh my fuck! I'm like, this thing is like an hour and a half. Like, I got a long way to go, and that happened repeatedly. I would keep checking it, like, okay, 10 more minutes of this, because it felt like we talked about it for a long time, but holy shit, really, it could be. It's like, and then blah 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 blah, yada yada yada, this, and it felt like there wasn't much substance in between, or much style to sustain from A to B, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kyle?
Okay, interesting. I actually have to disagree with that, because I really think this movie is cool. I love the soundtrack, even though it's this bizarre free jazz nightmare with psychedelia, and it just kind of cuts back and forth as the scene cuts back and forth. It's a little disjarring, but I do love it. I think that ultimately this movie is about what happens when man tries to play God. And I really love that at the end we had the reference to Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam, where we had Roger's hand down in the dirt and the monster's hand down in the dirt.
Shit. Yeah.
And they're just touching. And I thought, they really put some thought into wrapping this thing up in a nice little bow. Joe, you know what? I have to totally disagree with you about the pacing on this. For some reason, to me, this movie feels really well paced. There's a couple of fat and slow sections in here, but for the most part, for me, it just kind of zips right along, and I really love the adventure that it takes you on. So I'm going to have to go cool on this one.
All right.
Yeah. I wish Scott were here. I can share with the audience that Scott did not enjoy this film. He was very vocal about how hard it was to get through it. So Scott would give this a trash. And maybe on a future episode we can backtrack for a second or whatever. But for me, it gets cool. This is sleaze of the highest order. You have a non-actor character. Casey Kasem is, anytime he's speaking, I'm grinning. Bruce Dern I love, even though he's phoning this in, totally phoning this in.
Agreed on both counts.
I'm a total sucker for Bruce Dern. If you want to see him, see the films Joe mentioned. If you want to see him as an adult, see After Dark, My Sweet. He's a great character actor. Not in this film though. He's not there. But I agree with Kyle. This is a awesome early 70s sleazy drive-in update of Frankenstein with very little heart or brain, but just enough to make it entertaining. So for me, it gets a cool.
Tied it up.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, this with more pot, and I hadn't really thought about, I hadn't had a lot of time to digest it, but when we talked about that end scene, I was like, oh, wait. But I wish it would have sort of pushed, there were a couple of points that came out in this discussion, things that you guys came up with, and that I sort
of... They were there, Joe. They were there.
I know, they were there all along. It was me carrying you. But I just, things I didn't, I was like, oh, okay. But because it felt like there were lags to me where it's like, oh, they could have, instead of doing an exposition here and then having sort of this drag, I don't know. Yeah, it's not really a pacing thing. I don't know quite what it is. So
no, I agree with you, Joe, on that point. It feels like the first 45 minutes to almost an hour are really not slow, because you have for me, I have the Casey Kasem and the Bruce Dern thing. So,
sure.
For the average person, I think it's pretty slow. The last half of the film is the rampage, and like you said, that could be summed up in one sentence. I mean, it's really garbage. But
and it is like the body awakens. I wrote, and then 45 minutes in a dotted line, and so it's like literally halfway through the movie is when the monster comes alive.
Yep.
Halfway through the movie.
Yep.
So like your typical monster movies is about like 20, maybe 30 minutes of an hour and a half of like setup and ooh, and then the second act is like your movie, your Godzilla thing. I don't know.
Right.
So that maybe that was part of it. May I share with you a YouTube user?
That's your thing, baby.
Comment on this?
Yes, please.
Sue, one's really quick. Both of these I disagree with, and people tend on YouTube comments to kind of voice their opinions on just overall culture things, like rather than just comment on the thing. So Peter. Is that Franixton? I badly spelled Frankenstein. Says, movies aren't like this anymore. Too bad. All one sentence.
He's right.
And in a more elaborate version of that, this is a little longer, but I think it's worth it. It's very ranty. HHH100 says, great movie. Seems better movies were made years ago. Took intellect to understand instead of today's picture card movies for dummies. Nice also to not have scenes changing every millisecond like a strobe light. Hollywood is degraded into another cesspool these days. You're better off watching old movies of years past for great entertainment.
Wow.
Says 70-year-old man.
The editing on this was really fast and really snappy for a
like
1970s.
There's these spasm
weird,
shots.
Flip spasmodic. Like it's like when it would go from one scene to the next, it would go flip between like the shot you were just seeing and the shot you were about to see.
Yeah.
And flip them like very like weird new wave thing, and then go to that.
Yeah, like hint foreshadowing of like what's happening next, and then just jumping to it.
Sort of making it like it's this and it's that, like the two-headed thing. So I was like, I appreciated that, but it's funny to have a guy say like, nice also not to have scenes changing every millisecond like a strobe light, and it's like, yeah, actually
that actually happened in this.
Literally had like strobe light editing between scenes in this movie.
So our next adventure will be not straying too far from this. It is called Dracula vs. Frankenstein. It was directed by Al Adamson, who is a notorious proprietor of shit. It came out in 1971. You can find this on Hulu Movies for free. You can't find the whole film on YouTube for free, but you can find it divided up in like 10-minute chunks if you need to watch it that way. This has a couple great actors who are in their twilight days. I have a particular affinity for when an actor is down on his luck, kind of dying, and he's just trying to get some money for his family. Those films always kind of draw me just because of the trashiness. So J. Carroll Naish plays Dr. Frankenstein in this. Lon Chaney Jr. is one of his final roles, if not his final role, is in this. They have a kid playing Count Dracula that looks like Mike D's Jewish cousin. His name is, according to the film guide, Zandor Vorkov. And Russ Tamblyn, who we might know from Twin Peaks as Dr. Jacoby. He's in this, and it's a mess, man. This was compiled out of I think 2 or 3 different films that Adamson was shooting and abandoned, and then finally found a way to write a story that strung them all together.
Wow.
So I think you guys are going to love this. A great thing, though, and this is why I think you guys will like it. Danny, from our film we watched this week, is Frankenstein's monster, John Bond.
Awesome.
Wow.
And Cass, Albert Cole, he's also in this film. So
yes,
the 2 guys that comprise the monster of this film are in Dracula versus Frankenstein.
Oh,
but it's like a
what
cobbled
happy accident.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
oh, that's gonna be great.
It's pretty sleazy. So we didn't. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you do.
Oh, I was just saying, like, so it's like this guy cobbled together like 3 abandoned films.
It's at least 2, if not 3.
Okay.
Yeah, He had footage. He was shooting something, walked away from it, shot something else, I think walked away from it, and then kind of shot some extra footage to sew the two things together to make a film.
Oh my God. It's like a Terry Gilliam story or something.
Mm-hmm. But with no talent.
Right.
So you guys should love this. I hope you love it.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty sleazy.
Hi, everybody. Scott here with a quick review of the incredible two-headed transplant. In my opinion, the less said about this movie, the better. And now you know that I thought this movie was trash. And I should love it. It has everything I require of a movie. It has Bruce Dern, Casey Kasem, it has gentle rapists, but this was like rubbing glass into my eyes. It was just the worst. It was like Matt, how he felt about Supervan. This was my Supervan. And I don't have a really good reason for hating it. It's kind of like when you meet somebody's kid and you just hate him. There's no reason you hate him. You do. You know that. You're like, ugh, I hate that kid. That's how I felt about this movie. Dragged on and on. Hated it. Redheaded stepchild of the movie world. And I should have loved it. But it's trash. And, well, now you know my opinion.
Okay, for That's Cool, That's Trash, I'm Matt Howell.
I'm Kyle Schaefer.
I'm Joe Kincher.
And you keep it trashy.
That's cool. That's trash. That's cool. That's trash.
That's trash.
It's garbage, folks.
Man, Dr. Gerard must have been brewing some of that Jekyll and Hyde joy juice in here.